Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Let's jump into part 2 of the Elden Ring walkthrough together. Sacred Tears are used to upgrade the potency of your Crimson and Cerulean flasks. There are a total of 12 Sacred Tears in the entire game. Each one increases the healing power of your flasks by 1 level, meaning every time you use a flask, it restores more HP or FP than before. Flask of Wondrous Physick, one of the most important items in the entire game. It's a special flask that can be customized using 2 crystal tiers. There are many different crystal tiers to find throughout the game, each offering unique effects, from healing boosts to powerful buffs. We've just picked up our first crystal tier, the Crimson Crystal Tier. Choosing which crystal tiers to mix into your flask depends entirely on your build and playstyle. So experiment to find the combination that works best for you.
Spoken echoes linger here, words of Queen Marika, who vanished long ago. If you wish, I will share them with you. Very well. In Marika's own words, my lord, and thy warriors, I divest each of thee of thy grace. With thine eyes dimmed, ye will be driven from the lands between. Ye will wage war in a land afar, where ye will live and die. Well, perhaps that might serve you in lieu of a maiden's guidance.
Say hi to one of the scariest mini-bosses in the game, the Black Blade Kindred. Yeah, just wave from a safe distance. Maybe even whisper it. Absolutely do not poke the beast. We're not here to die heroically. We're here to open that nice, peaceful door to the bestial sanctum quietly. Touch the site of grace, but don't rest at it just yet.
I smell it. Death. Feeding me. Tarnished. Bring more death. I shall grant thee eye and claw. Feed me more. I shall grant thee eye and claw. Feed me more.
The beast eye given to us by Gurranq helps detect the location of Deathroots. Whenever you get close to one, you'll receive a notification. The beast eye quivers. That means there's a nearby boss who holds a Deathroot. Defeat them, and you'll claim it. The next item we get from Gurranq is the Clawmark seal. In Elden Ring, there are two main types of spells: Incantations and Sorceries. Incantations are cast using a seal, while Sorceries require a staff. There are plenty of seals and staves in the game, and some of them come with passive effects that enhance specific types of spells. For example, the Clawmark seal boosts bestial incantations, the ones we receive from Gurranq, by 10%. So, if you plan on using those, this seal is a perfect fit.
Forgive me. I've been testing you to determine if the Elden Ring would truly have you, if you had the mettle to endure this long and arduous path. It seems my worries were unfounded. Torrent had your measure from the very start, whereas I merely pretended. There is but one other thing I can do to offer you guidance. I can take you to the Roundtable Hold, gathering place of tarnished champions. guided by grace. Very well. Let my hand rest upon you for but a moment.
Oh, I see you've just arrived. Welcome to the Roundtable Hold. I'm Corhyn, a man of the cloth. I teach incantations, the strength granted us by the Two Fingers, and explore the secrets of the Golden Order, so that one day, if a tarnished of the Roundtable Hold should become Elden Lord, I might counsel them, ensuring order regains its proper form, righting rule over men. By the way, do you still see it? The guidance of grace. You do? Wonderful news. Most tarnished are blind to it these days. You are something of a rare breed. Well, what do you say? Care to learn an incantation of the Two Fingers?
The first NPC we meet in the Roundtable Hold is Brother Corhyn. He sells you incantations and also has a questline of his own. As you progress through his quest, he'll add more powerful incantations to his shop.
Golden Order shine through you.
You've met Gurranq, I take it. Then owing to our duties shared, we are now comrades in arms. I think you've earned this. The power of the Golden Order to aid the hunt of those who live in death. I serve the Golden Order, that I might put this crooked land to rights, following only the guidance of the great Elden Ring. Those who live in death fall outside the principles of the Golden Order. Their mere existence sullies the guidance of gold, tainting its truth. And so it is the vermin must be exterminated, down to the very last.
After giving Gurranq the first Deathroot, you can talk to Dee back at the Roundtable Hold and gain access to the incantations he sells. Unlike other vendors, Dee's list of spells doesn't expand as his quest progresses, so what you see now is what you'll get.
Ah, hello. You must be new here. Well, just call me Diallos. The honor of one's house holds little import in these lands. By the way, have you met a young woman named Lanya on your travels? She's my servant, but fickle as the wind. Take your eyes off her for but a moment and she's good as gone. If you find her, please be sure to tell me. Be sure to tell me if you meet a young woman named Lanya. She's a servant to my house. She's been my companion since childhood. I've lost count of the number of times I've had to find her like this. Honestly, she's such a little tomboy.
Another NPC you'll meet for the first time in the Roundtable Hold is Knight Diallos. His questline is connected to a few other characters, and gradually develops as you explore more of the world. Even though combat is forbidden in the Roundtable Hold, there are a lot of bloodstains around here. Feels like something happened. Maybe we should come back later, when we're a bit stronger. If you're playing the game online, this statue lets you take part in PvP battles inside the Colosseums. There are 3 Colosseums in total, but we haven't reached any of them just yet.
Oh, this is a rare occasion. I can't remember the last time a new tarnished made their way to the round table. Very well. As your senior, I bid you welcome. It is safe here. You may let down your guard. Allow me a word of advice. As your senior, you are a mere visitor to the round table. Nothing more. A house guest. Yet to earn their keep. Remember your place, newcomer. There's nothing left to say. Be at your leisure.
Sir Gideon Ofnir, the All-Knowing, a name we first heard in the game's opening cutscene, serves as the leader of the Roundtable Hold. We'll be speaking with him several times throughout our journey, and he'll share a lot of valuable information. Though, some say those conversations aren't without consequences. The twin maiden Husks, two rather strange old ladies standing side by side, act as one of the most important merchants in the entire game. Their shop expands over time, but only if you give them special items called bell bearings. The more you collect and offer, the more items they'll have for sale.
You're a new face. No matter, it's all the same. Lay out your arms. Let's get smithing. I see you've noticed the chains. Nothing special. I'm a prisoner and these are my chains. I'm trapped by the hold. I'm dying, smithing for you fools. That's all there is to it. No, don't read too much into it. Well, no grudge against you. My being a prisoner is no fault of yours. Besides, I don't mind smithing. Despite my differences, the weapons get stronger all the same. In time, technique never fails. Besides, it helps me forget the sheer terror of her.
Smithing Master Hewg is the game's most important blacksmith. And honestly, a pretty lovable character. Don't let his grumpy, impatient tone fool you. The more he gets to know you and your potential, the more he warms up to you. Hewg can upgrade your weapons to the highest level, change or duplicate your Ashes of War, and even buy items from you. And as you'll see later, he can help us out in more ways than we expect.
Greetings, great champion called by grace. I am Fear. Circumstances have compelled my stay at the Roundtable Hold. Great champion, would you allow me to hold you? But briefly, perhaps you might share with me some of your lively vigor and your stout-heartedness. Doing so will grant me the warmth of a champion, and you, I am sure, will bear a Baldachin's blessing. Do you think it vulgar, perhaps? Where I come from, it is a sacred act. Ah, my thanks, great champion. You are Very warm. What you felt light up inside you was a Baldachin's blessing. Though it is but a fleeting thing, I am afraid. Come back to me, should you require another. I will take you in my arms as often as you need.
The last NPC we meet in the Roundtable Hold is Fia. You might recognize her name from the game's opening cutscene. When you speak to her, she offers to hold you and gives you an item called Baldachin's Blessing. As long as Fia remains in the Roundtable Hold, you can return to her embrace and receive another blessing, but you can only carry one at a time in your inventory. Fia also has her own questline and is tied to one of the game's endings, so if you're aiming for 100% completion, make sure to follow her story closely. Baldachin's Blessing has a rather complex description, which you can pause and read on screen. But here's what you really need to know. While this item is in your inventory, it reduces your maximum HP by 5%. This makes it a useful tool in the early game, when your HP pool is still relatively small. When used, it temporarily boosts your poise and damage resistance for 15 seconds, which can be a lifesaver in tough fights. However, the more HP you gain as you level up, the more that 5% penalty starts to hurt. So later in the game, the trade-off becomes less worth it. This tree-like creature may look calm now, but later in the game, it will probably make us cry. Each memory stone you find increases your memory slots by 1. This means you can equip more sorceries or incantations to cast. There are a total of 8 memory stones in the game. Combined with the 2 default slots you start with, you can reach 10 slots. And with the help of a specific talisman, you can boost that number to 12. Just keep in mind, some spells require more than 1 memory slot to equip. We've finally arrived at the early game rune farming spot. This method is a bit tricky, so pay close attention. I'll demonstrate it 3 times. After that, it's up to you. The key is this. The rolling metal ball must fall off the cliff. If it disappears without falling, you won't get any runes. There's a high chance you'll die during this process, but don't worry, and after a few tries, and probably a few deaths, you'll get the hang of it. How much you want to farm is up to you. Personally, I'm going to farm around 100,000 runes to reach level 31 and buy a few items. When it's time to level up, I'll explain each of the game's 8 main stats and which ones are most useful early on. So, if you're not familiar with stats yet, just hang tight. If you play Elden Ring in multiplayer mode, there is a feature called Group Password that can help you earn more runes. I use 5 popular group passwords. Since I already added them on my other characters, I can quickly select them from my history. But if this is your first time, you need to enter the group names manually. Keep in mind, group passwords are case sensitive. This feature is helpful because if someone in one of your 5 groups defeats a major boss, like a Shardbearer, or finishes the game, you will receive a hidden rune boost for a short time. That means you can get extra runes every time you defeat an enemy during that boost. You can also search online to find more popular group passwords. The more players use a group, the more often you will receive the boost. So it is a good idea to set this up. Before we start leveling up, it's time to talk about the main character stats. A full explanation of each stat would take a lot of time, and I don't want to slow things down here. So instead, I'll explain everything step by step in the right moments, across several parts. But for now, you just need to understand one thing. Leveling up each stat has a direct effect on your character's performance. To make things easier for you, I'll explain each of the main stats using one of my high-level characters. This one is already at level 168. Let's start with Vigor. The most important effect of leveling up Vigor is that it increases your HP. It also gives a boost to your immunity and fire defense. Now here's something important you should know. Leveling up in From Software games is not linear. A linear system would mean something like this. Every time you level up Vigor, you always gain the same amount of HP, like 60 points. And that stays the same all the way to level 99. But Elden Ring doesn't work that way. Every time you level up Vigor, the amount of HP, immunity, and fire defense you get will change. This rule also applies to all the other 7 stats. So, to help you understand better, I'll show each stat visually, from its starting value all the way to level 99. So you can see for yourself how much benefit each level gives. When it comes to Vigor, there are 2 soft caps you need to know about. The first soft cap is at level 40, and the second soft cap is at level 60. After Vigor reaches level 60, leveling it up any further is not really worth it. You can clearly see this in the numbers. At level 60, you'll have around 1900 HP, but after that, the amount of HP you gain per level drops significantly. So, unless you have a very specific reason, it's usually best to stop at level 60 for Vigor. Next up is Mind. Leveling up Mind increases your FP, which is the blue bar used for casting spells and activating weapon skills. So if you're playing as a caster, you'll definitely want to invest in Mind. Mind also increases your focus, but we'll talk more about that later. Leveling up Endurance increases your stamina and also raises your equip load. That means you can run, dodge, and attack more often, and wear heavier armor without slowing down. Endurance also increases your robustness. The amount of stamina your character has is important, but even more important is how quickly it recovers. In the last episode, we picked up the Green Turtle Talisman, which boosts your stamina recovery speed. And that makes a huge difference in combat. Let's talk a bit more about equip load. Every weapon and armor piece in the game has a weight. Even talismans have their own weight. Your equip load is the total weight of all the gear you're using. That includes the weapons equipped in your 6 weapon slots, the armor you're wearing, and the talismans placed in your talisman slots. This total weight determines your load status, which affects your movement and dodge rolls. There are 4 load categories, and the first one is light load. To stay in light load, your total gear weight must be below 30% of your maximum equip load, which you can increase by leveling up endurance. As soon as your gear weight reaches 30% or more, you'll enter the medium load category. You'll stay in medium load until you hit 69.9%. And this is the recommended range for most players. It's a great balance between mobility and protection. Once your total gear weight hits 70% or more, you'll enter heavy load, and that's when things start getting tough. Your rolls become slower and clunkier, and the game becomes harder overall. Heavy load lasts until 99.9% of your max equip load. If you go above that, you'll enter the 4th category, overloaded. At that point, you can barely move at all. You won't be able to dodge, and your character becomes sluggish. If you want more detailed info on these 4 load states, you can pause and check the chart on screen. But here's the simple version. Just try to stay within medium load. You'll thank yourself later. You don't need to do any math to figure out your load status. Just press the Options button and go to the Equipment menu. In the bottom right corner of the screen, you'll see your current Equip load status displayed clearly. Since the main effect of the next 5 stats is boosting your weapon power, I've equipped 5 identical weapons, each one fully upgraded. But here's the difference. Each weapon scales with a different stat when you level up. On screen, you can see which stat each weapon is scaling with and how much damage increases as that stat goes up. Leveling up strength does more than just increasing the damage of weapons that scale with strength. It also boosts your physical defense. Unlike the previous 3 stats, which mainly affected your character directly, the next 5 stats mostly affect your weapon scaling. Weapons in Elden Ring have a huge variety when it comes to scaling, so it's hard to talk about soft caps in a general way. The soft caps shown on screen are just a rough guideline. We'll dive deeper into scaling and soft caps later when we cover weapons and their mechanics. But here's one very important tip about strength. When you two-hand a weapon, your effective strength stat for that weapon gets a 1.5 multiplier. So for example, if your strength is 20 and you two-hand a weapon, your strength counts as 30 for meeting weapon requirements. This trick makes it a lot easier to equip high-strength weapons early on, as long as you're willing to two-hand them. The dexterity stat, like strength, boosts the damage of weapons that scale with dexterity. It also gives you better control on torrent, like you're less likely to fall off when hit, and you'll take less damage from falling. Dexterity also slightly increases spellcasting speed, but don't worry. You won't need to invest too much into it for that. There are items in the game that help with casting speed too. Intelligence is the main stat used for casting sorceries. Since sorceries are cast using staves, leveling intelligence increases the spell buff of your staff. So, your sorceries become more powerful. Some weapons also scale with intelligence, so there are 2 types of soft caps. one for weapon scaling and another for spell scaling. It also boosts your magic defense. Faith is the main stat used for casting incantations. To cast them, you'll need a seal, and the spell buff of your seal increases as you level up Faith, making your incantations more powerful. Some weapons also scale with Faith, so just like Intelligence, there are two types of soft caps for this stat. One for weapon scaling, and one for casting incantations. Arcane is the final stat, and just like its name suggests, it's a bit mysterious. First, leveling Arcane increases your item discovery, meaning enemies are more likely to drop rare items when you defeat them. Some weapons scale with Arcane, so there are soft caps related to weapon damage as well. Arcane also boosts the buildup of status effects like Bleed, so just like with weapon scaling, there are soft caps for status effects too. We'll go deeper into this topic later on. It also increases your vitality, which helps resist instant death from certain effects, and boosts your holy defense, which protects you from holy type attacks. Now that we're done talking, and probably a little tired too, it's time to spend the 100,000 runes we just farmed. I'm going to level up my character to level 31. From now on, until my vigor reaches 40 and my endurance hits 20, I'll invest all the runes I collect into these two stats. I will only raise dexterity to 16 and strength to 12. Just enough to meet the requirements for some good weapons. I'm not putting more points into strength or dexterity yet, because weapon damage doesn't increase much unless the weapon is upgraded. So for now, it's better to focus on survivability instead of trying to boost our damage. Throughout the game, we will collect all incantations and sorceries. Getting some of them is connected to one of your trophies. For now, I am buying Cure Poison to heal poison, Fortification Incantations to boost fire defense when needed, and Flame Sling as a basic fire attack. You can buy all of these from Corhyn. Keep in mind, if you want to use any specific incantation or sorcery, you must meet its stat requirements.
May the Golden Order shine through you.
You there? Could you help us out, Cully? Yeah, you there? Stop pretending you can't see me. What'd you go and do that for? Oh, yes, I remember. Some clod turned me into a tree. You were just breaking the spell, weren't you? Thank you. The name's Boc. I was pushed out of the cave. Told not to come back. Not ever. Then I ended up as a tree. Lucky you came along, really. Oh, what a shame. When they threw me out of the cave, they took everything I owned. And so this is all I have to express my thanks. I hope you can forgive me. Or, well, if you can afford to wait for a while, I could sneak back into the cave and bring back something of actual value. Then I'd be of some real use to you, I reckon. Right, but I'll need a moment. I'm frightened of them, so I have to gather myself. My knees start knocking, just thinking about that god-awful cave on the shore.
Anybody there? Someone who might be interested in rescuing the great Kenneth Haight, servant to the true order and celebrated repudiator of the false. Oh, Erdtree, grant me succor. Hello? Is anybody there? Someone who might be interested in rescuing the great Kenneth Haight, servant to the true order and celebrated repudiator of the false. Oh, Erdtree, grant me succor. Ah, you've come to lend me your aid, have you? Well, that's very kind, but, no. No, the help is very much appreciated, even from a tarnished. Despite appearances, nobility is no prerequisite to serving the true order. You might have heard of me, Kenneth Haight. Next in line is the rightful ruler of Limgrave, the Untarnished. I would have a boon of you. I want you to take back my fort. It lies to the south, beyond the Mistwood. A knight commander from Stormvale took it. A fool, and plumb mad to boot. Simply obsessed with blood. What are you waiting for? A kiss goodbye? My fort lies to the south, beyond the Mistwood. Take it back for me. Oh, I see. You wish to know the reward. Fret not. The great Kenneth Haight is known for his considerable largesse. The celebrations will be lavish indeed upon the dawn of my fort's retrieval. Yes. Now, allow me to furnish you with a little advice. I would take great care to avoid Godric's tarnished hunts were I in your shoes. That depraved lot are obsessed with sacrificing tarnished like you for the sake of grafting. Honestly, Godric's nothing more than a jumped-up country bumpkin. Lord? Oh, don't make me laugh. First, he hid himself amongst the womenfolk to flee the capital, then hid from Radahn in that castle. Then he insulted Melina, lost to her in battle, only to lick her boots rather than die like a man. Has he no shame, the big girl's blouse? And to think, he's the blood of Godfrey, last of the golden lineage. You almost wouldn't know it to look at him. Yeah, I almost feel sorry for the chap the more I think of it. What are you waiting for? A kiss goodbye? My fort lies to the south, beyond the Mistwood. Take it back for me.
At the Mistwood Ruins, you will hear the howl of a wolf. For now, we can't talk to him yet. To talk to the wolf who was howling in Mistwood, you need to speak with Merchant at the Church of Ella. He will give you a gesture called Finger Snap.
Wait, weren't you... Well, you're back. Care to buy something? There are others of my people who yet survive in these lands. If the mood takes you when you meet one, then offer them some trade, won't you? My people, wanderers all have long been spurned by the grace of gold, which is why we cannot settle, but instead are forced into this pitiful, unceasing journey. But thanks to that, things are not so different for us now, though the Elden Ring is shattered. I think this makes us kindred spirits of sorts. Your people, the Tarnished, and mine. Perhaps you don't need to hear this, but see that no harm comes to my kin. We have a saying, we wanderers, lament not your solitude. Expect no sympathy, no regard, nothing. But if anyone dares harm us, show them no mercy. That is our code, so to speak. Just the way we are, deeply unforgiving. The howl of a wolf in the Mistwood. I suppose he must still be skulking about. I know. Why not meet him for yourself? Next time you hear the wolf's howl, make this signal right under the source. Oh, don't fret. There is nothing to fear. I just have an inkling the two of you might hit it off. Goodbye.
Alright, this is the end of part 2 of the walkthrough. In the next episode, our main goal is to find some secret tiers to upgrade our flasks, and also to collect a few good weapons for combat. So, until next time, see you soon.